Hello everyone, Paul from Rumbarber here and welcome back to another video. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll know that a couple of weeks ago we were sent the new Ergo clipper and Evo trimmer from Gamma Plus. Now these machines haven't been released yet and Gamma are still working on certain improvements before their final release in a few months. One of the issues Gamma highlighted to us was that the blade on both the Ergo and Evo needed more work and that the blades we had on both machines wouldn't be on the finished article. For our review video, we wanted to test the clipper on some really thick coarse hair, and I had a client in the shop the other day with the perfect hair type, so I was just going to film some parts of the fade and use them in the review video. But we'd also received some questions recently about how to cut curly hair, so I thought this was the perfect chance to combine both and use the full haircut as a tutorial.
Begin.
When I approach cutting curly hair, my main objective is to keep the shape as square as possible. Curly hair naturally grows quite round, so I want to make sure I offset this by cutting a square shape. To begin with, my first section is a box shape that runs from the highest point of the recession down to the ridge of the head where I will build some weight. I will subdivide this box into two triangular sections. Each section will be pulled out directly and slightly down, and a line cut parallel to the head about 1 finger's depth. At the crown area, I will take 4 diagonal sections and over-direct each one back to the original weight line. Now I will repeat exactly the same process on the other side. When I get to the top, I'm going to take 3 sections up to the centre top of the head. Each section will be brought down to the original weight line and a parallel line cut. Doing this will build weight around the contour of the head through graduation. Again, I will repeat exactly the same process on the other side. At the centre top of the head, I take a section about 2 inches wide. Pulling the hair directly up off the head, I cut a square line, removing the small triangular peak left by the graduation. I will repeat this working forward without over direction until I reach the fringe area. At the front, I take a triangular section from each recession to the centre top of the head. I start with a central profile section which I will cut to follow the head shape. I then take subsequent sections out to the edge of the triangle, elevating each one back onto the middle to keep weight at the corners. Finally, I pull this section forward and cut a square line to remove the small peak left by the elevation. Now I will use the Ergo clippers for the fade. Starting with a number 3, I remove bulk and connect the sides to the weight line at the top that I previously created. Now, those of you that have watched our videos for a while know that I'm not a fan of a fade blade and I prefer a taper blade, so I did find connecting the sides to the top a little trickier than normal. The issue Gamma pointed out to us with the blade was that it caught or pulled hair when closed or open with no guard. I did notice this a little here when I was balding out, so that's why I'm being super cautious and keep going over it. Next, I'm going to fully bald out this area using the Babeless foils, slightly flicking out as I reach the first guideline so that I don't create another line. My second guideline is created with the clipper fully open, going up about 3/4 of an inch. With the blade fully open, this is when I felt it catching more. Maybe it was the blade or just me not being used to the thin fade blade. Either way, I just took my time to get the guideline set. Gamma are aware of this issue and have made changes to the blade so that it will perform way better when they release this clipper. Next, I'm going to blend out this guideline by blending down. Starting with my clipper half closed and going up to just under where I left off with the blade fully open. Here I've moved the lever to the second notch and I'm going about halfway up the blend area. Using the corners of the clipper and the lever fully closed, I work away at the first guideline until it's gone. On the other side, I tried to use a 1 guard open to establish my next guideline, but it struggled with removing the bulk. So here I'm using the 1.5 guard open, then closed to blend into the number 3 we started with. Now the bulk is removed, I can use the 1 guard open that I would have used to create my next guideline. I will continue blending down by closing the 1 guard, then I will use the half guard open then closed until the blend is complete. Though I did struggle a bit with using the fade blade, I must admit I did start to quite like it the more the fade went on. I don't think I'll move away from my taper blade anytime soon, but I can definitely see benefits to using one. To finish the blend, I open and close the blade with no guard to refine any areas that I feel need some work. And that's the cut complete. Be sure to look out for our full review on the Ergo clipper and Evo trimmer from Gamma Plus. It'll be coming really soon. Hopefully you found this tutorial useful. If you did, please share it as it really helps the channel. As always, thanks very much for watching. See you next time.